Hello, it is on, it's on. Hey everyone, welcome to day one of the Procrastination Busting Challenge. It's a quick video to get you started and to let you know the first steps. So you have already selected the project that you're going to be working on. So no excuses, you're ready to go right from now from the day one. I'm going to give you 3 steps for today. I'll just share my screen with you now. This is working. Yeah, this is working. So hopefully you can still see me in the corner of your screen. So tip number 1 or step number 1 for the challenge today is, this one is not rocket science. I want you to write out your to-do list. So you've picked your project, you know what you need to get done. I want you to write down step by step everything that you need to get it completed. And not just the amount that you want to do in this weekend, if it's a longer term project, but everything that you need from start to end. You can write it however you want. I'm definitely a write it on a piece of paper kind of girl, but you can write it on paper, in a document. If you're already used to using project management software, you can write it in that. Don't use that as a procrastination excuse though. Piece of paper works fine. So step 1, write out your to-do list. Now, step 2, come on, internet. Oh, it's formatting. Step 2 is to 80-20 your task list. What do I mean by 80-20? Most of you might know this already, but the 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto principle, that holds that 20% of your efforts result in 80% of the rewards. So it was invented by this Italian dude called Pareto, and he discovered that 80% of the land in Italy, like 100 years ago, was owned by 20% of the people. And then he started seeing this ratio everywhere. So he found that 80% of all the peas from his garden came from just 20% of his pea plants. Is that a thing? Pea plant? Pods? Anyway, just 20% of his plants resulted in 80% of the yield of peas. And this thing is everywhere. I looked up some examples. Apparently 80% of all crimes are committed by just 20% of criminals. 80% of traffic accidents are caused by 20% of the drivers. And everyone will know, you probably only wear 20% of the clothes in your closet 80% of the time. So you're really just wearing this small subset all the time. And I'm traveling, obviously, so I'm very minimalist, but even with hardly any clothes, I still find that there's just 20% that I'm wearing over and over. So it's a really great principle, really useful principle. And what it means is, in 80-20 in your task list, you're going to pick out the 20%, the things that will really make the biggest impact. And that's where you'll focus this weekend, so that you can get it done and smash it, as I like to say. So I'll give you an example here. So I did up a very quick task list for my project. And as I said, my project is to develop an online training to run for you guys, to run live. So here is my task list: decide on a topic, decide on a sexy name, blah, blah. You can see what it is. So testing the Pareto principle, it holds that if I focused on just 2 of these items, I'd be 80% done by the end of the weekend. So let's make this the 20% list. So I looked at this already and realized that the top 2 things to decide on a topic, obviously important if you're doing the training, and then if I typed summary points onto my slides. That is basically it. If I do only those 2 items this weekend, then I've got enough to run the training. I've got a topic, I know what I'm talking about, and I've got slides to attach to the topic. On the other hand, if I hadn't 80-20'd my list, I could get through 8 big long items instead of just 2, and still at the end of this only be 20% of the way towards hitting my goal, which is being ready to do the training. So deciding on a title, research, outlining content, writing a script. So many of these I'll have to do anyway, right? Not all, but many of them. But they're not as important as these 2. These 2 really mark the success of the project. So I want you, it'll be the same with your project, to take your project, pull out the 20%, you don't have to be strict about 20%, but pull out the top, couple most impactful items and work on those first. I mean, personally, without 80/20ing my list, this is where I would have spent my time, researching, outlining content, and scripting. And I would have this beautiful, well-scripted, designed, theoretical training, and then I would never get around to, putting it on slides and getting going. So it's a huge help. We want to make the biggest impact possible during this 3-day challenge. So 80/20 your task list is number 2. Number 3, and the last to do for day 1, is get started. So I know it's Friday, and I know that up until like yesterday, you didn't even know that you'd be working on this project intensively this weekend, but you need to get started today. What we're doing here, part of this challenge, is questioning the idea that you need a lot of planning and thinking and scheduling in advance, getting yourself psyched up to really get stuff done on a project. You can just do it. The barriers that are stopping us from getting things done are mostly in our own head. So even though it's Friday, you might have something you can do in your lunch break, or you might be able to take some time after work, or whenever it is, just do something today to get started. Then for tomorrow, you'll already have a bit of momentum going. So yes, that works. So that's it. Those are your 3 to-dos for day 1 of the challenge. If you have any questions about any of them, pop them in the comments below. And I'd also love to hear how you are going with your work. So the internet drops out when it rains here, so I can't promise anything, but I'll probably be on later with a live to see how you're going. That's it for the day 1 tips. Good luck.